Alright, this is gonna be a first impression about this knife that I brought on AliExpress. Yeah, I make it stand like this. So what about the price of it is that it costs £1.53 and the shipping is £2.55. So overall is £4.08 here in the UK. So it's what I consider really cheap for a folding knife. Because it was actually on sale on AliExpress, which they often have a lot of special prices. Why is it so hard to pronounce? Special price items and during festivals like Easter, Christmas, and some other seasons. But how I really think about this. First of all, is it good enough? I'd say no. I'm not expecting the material to be of a good quality considering the price, but I was expecting the design to be a little bit better. There are three main problems with this, overly simplified design. First of all, there is nothing to lock the blade open. As you can see, there is no locking mechanism on this knife. So it will be quite dangerous, considering that the blade can slide off and cut your fingers. So what I mean by locking mechanism is something like this. Can you see that there is a lever in this knife, which I also brought on AliExpress for a really cheap price? But this is much better designed because there is actually a lever that locks it open. When you want to close it, just push it down and close the blade. The second thing that I don't like about this design is that you cannot open it one-handed. As you can see, there is no thumb stud or anything that sticks out in the back. Unlike this one, which there is a metal bit that sticks out in the back that allows you to open it one-handed by pressing it with your index finger. You simply cannot do that with this. So if I want to make it more practical, I'll have to add a thumb stud by putting something like a screw, a rivet, or a nail into this hole and just make it into a thumb stud. So the third problem, the downside of this design is this clip. It doesn't allow you to draw it quickly because you can use it to clip onto your bag, the loop of your trousers, or just clip it onto a long necklace and carry it on your neck. If you want to carry it concealed, then you can simply tuck your necklace into whatever clothes you're wearing so people won't be able to see it easily. But why is it not a good design is because it's not as easy to have access to it. You often have to unbuckle this and pull it out of the loop of your jeans or whatever you're clipping it onto. Unlike this one, which has a clip on the side, which you can simply clip it to your trousers, your bag, whatever, and then just pull it out straightforwardly. And that made it much easier to have access to, especially when you're in a self-defense situation where you need to have access to a weapon quickly. This is not going to do so by design. Yeah, it does work if you want to do small tasks with it, anything like opening packages and cutting something light. It is reasonably sharp. It can cut paper decently well, not terribly good. You can definitely sharpen it to get it sharper if you want it to be more functional, but this is already sharp enough for some people, really depending on the context they're in. So what about the size and specs? The blade length is 6 centimeters and 2 millimeters. That's 2.5 inch. And the overall length from the tip all the way to the pommel is a little bit more than 15 centimeters. Yeah, 15.5 centimeters. That's 5 inches. So let's close it. So what I'm gonna do with it is that I'm gonna add some modifications, or else I won't be able to use this knife in a practical manner. What I want to do is that I want to put a thumb stud into this hole, this circular hole right here, and I'll also wrap parts of the skeletonized handle with either a paracord or a piece of hemp cord, which I have quite a lot of them, which they were originally intended for gardening, for tying your climbers, these cords. Weave it around the handle so you can have a much more solid grip on it. By the way, this handle is really slippery. It is just bare metal, and it will be terrible if you're in a wet condition. Let's say you're using this in a heavy rain, around the water, or simply if you've got hands that are really sweaty. It is gonna slip, I guarantee this, because of how smooth and slippery the surface is. So the last modification that I will want to do on this is to cut a line here. So when it's open, this area can function as a lever to lock the blade open. And when you want to close it, just push the lever back down and just close the blade. And that will convert it into a knife that locks open, and it's gonna be much safer in use. And these modifications can also allow me to sell it on a much higher price later on, because I've always wanted to be some kind of a merchant.